Valve is mass hiring new employees right now, so I looked into all the new hires to see what their positions are, from new animators to sound designers and even a physics engine developer. Whatever their future role will be, Valve is going all in on their current projects like Half-Life 3. There's even this mysterious countdown which now just appeared out of nowhere. CS2 has been getting a few updates recently, nothing like Deadlock with their Halloween update, but one of the CS2 updates changed around jumping, by making the jumps more consistent when landing, plus a few other smaller quality of life improvements that got followed with more updates a few days later. In one of these, a parachute was added to the CS2 files. Of course, the parachute has already been used for Danger Zone throughout CSGO, but in CS2, there is zero use for it in the game. That is, unless Valve plans to reintroduce Danger Zone soon, or use the parachute in some new mode that they may explore with. Either way, a new parachute appeared in the CS2 files, so let's see how long it takes until players are able to use it in their games. Talking about using it in your games, Valve dev John McDonald asked players to share any lineups that may have broke with their recent updates. After noticing that some of the smokes are really broken after the new changes, John McDonald also mentions how there was an undocumented change that broke ways players were using multi-input binds. Now, if this Valve dev seems familiar, it's probably because he is one of the main VAC developers. He's the one from the 2018 VAC presentation. Back in April 2024, when cheating was starting to peak for CS2, Valve said the anti-cheat was their #1 priority. In August, Valve announced VACnet 3.0, which has been steadily banning players since. But now we are seeing VAC developers look into other problems for CS2. So does that mean they're confident with VAC currently? Talking about Valve employees, they have been actively hiring. You may have probably already heard about the news from a few months ago, when Valve hired the entire Hopu Studios team. Since then, they have already broke off into different teams at Valve working on unreleased projects, as a few of the employees have been spotted working on Deadlock. There was also other new Valve employees you may have heard us talk about in previous videos, ranging from level designers to artists and even more, with a Half-Life mod creator getting hired. Some of these employees have even confirmed that they haven't even worked on Deadlock, so what are all these new employees at Valve actually working on? Now, although we could talk about all the employees we've already mentioned in previous videos, this is not what we're going to be talking about in this video, as Valve has actually been hiring even more employees recently. One of them even got hired yesterday. Plus, these are only the new employees which are public, not counting anyone who might just go under the radar. Some of these new employees that we never talked about in previous videos includes one that they added to their tax team. This was also around the same time they added a new visual designer who used to work for Amazon. A few months ago, that's even when things really started to pick up. Of course, Hopu Games joined Valve, but at that exact same time, they hired a new level designer who used to work for Arcane Studios. That wasn't it though, as Valve also hired a new animator in August, but he has actually worked for DreamWorks, Walt Disney, Nickelodeon, and much more. That exact same time, in August, an employee started a new position as a director of facilities and real estate, which may not seem like anything interesting for you, but it is actually where I learned that in addition to Valve's headquarters, they actually have a set of apartments. Now, just 4 weeks ago in October 2024, Valve got a new physics engine software developer as an intern. They even have hired a new personal trainer whose job is to work with all Valve employees to help with fitness and health goals. Now, just a few days ago in October 2024, Valve hired another animator who used to work at Respawn, Riot, and DreamWorks. Yesterday, a new employee popped up. This time, it was a new sound designer who has just been hired at Valve. So it should be pretty clear, especially when we start to add in everyone else from the past few months, like all the new artists and level designers who announced that they were starting new positions, that Valve is without a doubt cooking up something for us. Unless if they just somehow need all these people for some small CS2 update. The new physics engine developer is definitely very interesting, as it shows Valve is expanding its engine's capabilities with Source 2, and hoping to keep their games at the forefront of any innovation. Now, I don't want to speculate, but it definitely seems like Valve decided to hire new employees to help out their current line of unreleased projects, as there has been a huge uptick in employees getting hired within the past few months. The thing is, it's not just 1 or 2 new employees, but a list of new employees who were just hired in October, not including anybody who might just not be public. When Half-Life Alyx was released, Gabe Newell said, "Alyx was great. to be back doing single player games. That created a lot of momentum inside of the company to do more of that. But since, other than Aperture Death's job, Valve has not released a single player game. So what momentum was Gabe talking about 4 years ago, or was it actually HLX that's still on the way? So if you have been a fan of Valve for years now, just know you are very close to finally getting what you have wanted. Like the 20th anniversary update to Half-Life 2, which is only a few days away now. Since August, Valve has been updating the test depot for the anniversary constantly. Some days there are 2, 3, 4 different updates, sometimes even in the middle of a night on a weekend, as Valve seems to be trying to get the update ready to go on time, or at least whatever that means for Valve time. Now, randomly, a new site has appeared which is catching some Half-Life fans' attentions, breengrub.com. You actually might remember this name, as it was being used to tell a fanfic story by Valve writer Marc Laidlaw following the events of Half-Life 2 in the perspective of Dr. Breen. The last time Marc Laidlaw tweeted on this account was over 10 years ago, as this took place throughout 2012 to 2014. So why now is there a site that popped up with this artwork of an advisor with some gorillas on the walls? There's of course the timer that's counting down to November 16th, which is the exact date for the 20th anniversary of Half-Life 2. So is this some official countdown by Valve for whatever this new update is? Or is it just some dedicated fan-made site? The artwork in the background is definitely catching people's attention and making people think that this could really be Valve. Now, luckily for you, I've already looked into it, so when you reverse search the image, not much comes around. That is until you completely remove the host's body, as this is not an original artwork. It's actually called In the Living Room and was created by Ben Burke Halperin. And you'll notice the original has no gorillas on the walls or the advisor in the room. So unless Valve is just stealing this nice artwork for a countdown for the Half-Life 2 20th anniversary, well, this is a fan-made site. The thing is, it is starting to trick a lot of people as they are struggling to find the original artwork and are wondering what this is counting down to. But even though it is fan-made, it is counting down to the actual anniversary, which the update is still cooking, so it is still nice either way, as we should be expecting something around this date. Maybe it's not an actual fan site, but Marc Laidlaw coming back to continue 10 years later now that there has been a lot more hype and news for Half-Life recently. I strongly believe Valve will dominate the next 3 years throughout the 2020s when it comes down to actual good game development, something which Valve has been known for but started to step away from after beginning to expand into new hardware. In the 2020s, Valve has already been on a roll, from Half-Life Alyx to CS2, now we have Deadlock, we know Half-Life 3 is on the way. Valve also confirmed a second generation to their popular Steam Deck. There's also the new VR headset, the Deckard. It was also confirmed by Valve writers they have a start to Portal 3, but need more Valve employees to continue the actual game. Plus, any other projects that Valve may just be keeping a secret from us. I'm honestly very excited for what's next with Valve, so make sure you subscribe to be the first to know any news or updates before anybody else.